I think one of the most pernicious, corrosive, cancerous, destructive, dangerous things that a person can say about not necessarily the NSA program, any spying program, is, in an open society anyway, well, I live an exemplary life. I have nothing to fear. And so bring it on. I don't care. And there's a surprising number of people who put that argument out. And you know, maybe they do live exemplary lives, and maybe it is totally boring, and they really do have nothing to fear. But should the day ever come, that they want to engage in political activism, they have pretty much cut off their ability to do so if there is anything that could even be taken out of context and used against them. And B, what they have done is they have allowed all the imperfect people out there who may want to involve themselves in political activities, like somebody who wants to be president of the United States and yet has fathered several babies with his slave, like Thomas Jefferson. They cut off the possibility of any of those people ever participating in public office if the government has the power to just call them up one day and say, hey, here's what we know about you. So anyhow, that was my take on it. Jamie Weinstein has been cogitating on this. He's a senior editor over at the Daily Caller, the conservative website, dailycaller.com, and co-author of a hilarious and thought-provoking book, The Lizard King. And Jamie, welcome back.
Well, thank you for having me, Tom.
So you heard my riff. I'm curious your take on this.
Well, you know, I'm not necessarily quick to condemn it. I do have some troubles with it. I'm a national security. I'm a national security hawk, so I understand that sometimes in this, you know, I think a very serious threat to our country is Islamist terrorism. Sometimes you might have to give up some security in order to prevent what is the grandest threat to us, which is terrorists armed with weapons of mass destruction that would hit us at home. That really is what we're preventing.
Why is that the grandest threat to us when there are, you know, there are viruses mutating that could kill millions of us? When there's tens of thousands of us who die every year from preventable diseases because we have a dysfunctional healthcare system. I mean, more people, as Edward Snowden pointed out this morning, and as I've been pointing out for a long, long time, more people die slipping in bathtubs every year than have been killed by terrorists in the history of the United States.
I'd like to get on, but I'll address that quickly. I think it's a specious argument because it's not that more people die as of terrorism as of now. You're correct. More people die of drowning in pools right now than they do have died on American soil of terrorism last year and the year before and the year before that. Which the threat of, but the threat still exists of terrorists with weapons of mass destruction that could kill tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even over 1 million people if it was successful. So the threat exists there. A million people aren't going to die of drowning in a bathtub. In a single year.
So, you know, we should do something about that threat, but does that mean that we should be giving up our liberties for that security? I mean, you realize what Ben Franklin had to say about your argument.
I've heard, believe me, I've been to enough liberal rallies to see that quote. I do think it's truncated, though. But my concern is one of two things. One is, are we actually stopping threats with this? Have we foiled terrorist plots? And the two examples that have been given so far haven't convinced me that's the case. And maybe there are more and they can't say them. But what they've given us so far is the Zazi case of the subway attack in New York, which is not clear that was actually foiled because of these surveillance programs.
Correct.
And number two is the David Headley attack, which he helped plan and plot the Mumbai attack in India. But they only caught him after the attack had already taken place. So that is not, you know, very illustrative of a great success of this program in stopping a terrorist attack. Right. And number two is, are these being used beyond what we would maybe grant, what Americans might be okay with granting some power to in order to stop extraordinary attacks? Are they being used to spy on Americans, ordinary Americans? And as you know, in 2008, there was those revelations from some whistleblowers allegedly that they and other analysts at the NSA were spying on Americans calling home from the Green Zone in Iraq and others, not because they were threats because of terrorism, but this listening into them having calls with their wives and whatever they might have been talking there.
Sex talk in particular, and especially Skype, wife's flashing breasts and things. And these guys were making CDs of this and passing this around to each other.
And that is alarming, as is even the prosecution of Elliot Spitzer, who wasn't necessarily only caught because of Patriot Act programs, but because of because one of the programs in the Patriot Act, he was targeted because of scrutiny that was going on in the banking.
Well, and he was caught. I don't know if you've seen the movie Client Number 9, but he was caught because a federal felony was committed by Roger Stone, the Republican consultant, who'd been hired by a billionaire that Spitzer had really PO'd.
May not have anything to do with it, but he was ensnared partly due to scrutiny that was given to his banking accounts as a result of a provision in the Patriot Act.
Right.
And when Americans supported the Patriot Act, you probably didn't support it, Tom, but when most Americans, I think, supported the Patriot Act, they supported it because they thought it was going to go after terrorism, not after Elliot Spitzer.
Right. Not after guys who patronize.
I have those concerns and those two questions that at least have to be met before I would like to contemplate a program like this. And so far, I'm still questioning it. And I still could be persuaded that it is a proper program. But I'd like to see the president and others make the case. What I don't think Mr. Snowden is some hero. I think what he's doing right now is proving that he's anything but, with revealing things that the NSA is supposed to do, like target Dmitry Medvedev in Russia and enemies and potential people that might have enemies in the United States.
Yeah. Well, I think in this case he's revealing stuff that is falls into the category of duh. But that said, the entire concept that we should actually let me reboot this thought. We have now tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who are working. In fact, I think that the total number is 480,000, over 480,000 people working in the private sector in this whole national security machine. This is just short of 500,000 people. And they don't have the whistleblower protections that federal employees have. They don't have the oversight that federal employees have. Their actions cannot be the subject of a congressional subpoena, or they can with some difficulty, but they certainly can't be the subject of a Freedom of Information Act request by the Daily Caller, by a journalist like yourself. Isn't that troubling?
Well, actually, I would have a different angle in why it's troubling. Not necessarily the private versus government angle, but the fact that a low-level employee, someone who's not necessarily senior, like it sounds Eric Snowden wasn't the most senior person in the world, is able to get access to such classified records, or even people like Bradley Manning who are able to get access to such classified records. How is our security when people this low in the chain are able to access it? That is my concern, whether they're private or government workers. But people that shouldn't have necessarily the access that they're getting, that's a concern of mine.
Yeah. It seems that the conservative argument would be, let's tighten this up, let's have more oversight. It just, it seems to me that would have been Barry Goldwater's take.
I think there's two wings of conservative. I would say that.
Yeah, Jamie, we've run out of time, and because we're bringing your audio in by Skype, once the music starts, it kills it. I'm sorry. But we'll continue this conversation another time. Jamie Weinstein, senior editor over at the Daily Caller, dailycaller.com, co-author of The Lizard King. Jamie, thank you for being with us.